Perspective on Florida Gateway College Television is sponsored by Potash Corp of White Springs. Potash Corp, helping nature provide.
Hello everyone and welcome to Perspective. This is a public affairs presentation of Florida Gateway College. My name is Mike McKee and my guest on the program today represent the greater CDC, the Community Development Corporation. And we're going to talk about what they do to help people get into affordable housing. We'll do that when we come back. Don't go away. Welcome back to Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. My guests on the program are Lester McCallum, Roger Whidden, and Mary McCallum. They represent the greater CDC, and I'm not talking about the Center for Disease Control. It is the greater Lake City Community Development Corporation. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
I guess the first question that, do you get confused? People aren't calling you about diseases in the town, are they?
Well, they certainly do want to identify the acronym.
Yeah.
So we have to go through the process of identifying ourselves as a Community Development Corporation.
Okay, so tell the folks what that means. What do you do?
We provide assistance for people, that families and individuals that want to become homeowners. We provide financial literacy training. We do homeownership education. And we also counsel them about their credit problems. Or we work with them on their credit issues and try to correct them.
Now, is that kind of a big reason why people can't get into the houses? I mean,
yes.
Some folks say that you should be able to there, but no one wants to take a risk on someone who has credit problems. Is that the way it works?
That's exactly right. As it stands now, the credit industry require that you have probably a 640 credit score in order to qualify for a mortgage. We've been in partnership with talking with First Federal, which has agreed to lower the credit score to a 620 for the people that go through our program. And because we offer that financial literacy and the training that they require, that they be cognizant of, aware of the responsibility they're about to undertake. So it's a big thing about credit and being credit worthy.
Now, how do you help someone, or how do you train someone about credit or increasing their credit score? Are there things that you do?
Yes.
Some steps you follow? Because it doesn't happen overnight, does it?
No, it doesn't. It's a process. We have a program that was called Money Smart, and it's a 10-hour computer-based program. It has 10 modules that we go through each module with them, and it identifies issues like APR or dealing with credit, in situations like that. So they'll be aware of the responsibility of the undertaking that they're getting with that mortgage and be able to make the payments on it. So it helps them a great deal.
Lester, do people realize that how important a credit report is? I mean, because so much of what you do in your life revolves around what your credit score is.
Exactly right. Even getting a job, that has a great deal to do with it. A lot of times when people are young, they have a tendency to be irresponsible with purchases they've made, or renting furniture and things of that nature. And over a period of time, because of the lack of a job or whatever, they don't meet those responsibilities. And it has a tendency to come back and haunt them when they get ready to make application for a home, go to the bank to borrow $80,000 or $90,000 to build a home. So.
Now, Roger, you're a residential contractor, and you told me there's a difference between a residential contractor and a general contractor. You do just homes, correct?
Correct.
Talk about why a home is a good idea for someone instead of paying rent.
Well, it's an investment long term. You're building equity in it, and hopefully in the future you could sell it and make a profit on it.
Now, a lot of people say that buying a home is the biggest single investment that you will make in your lifetime. Is that you follow those?
That's definitely the case.
Now, what is your role with the CDC? And you're a contractor. How do you fit in the picture?
I met Lester a few years ago through a mutual associate, and we started planning and working together. And I took him to some of the homes that I had built, and so we just built a relationship, and it's continued today.
So, Lester, what is the process? Say, my credit score is not real good, but I still am tired of paying rent, or I'm in subsidized housing. I want to move out and move on my own. What's the first step? Do they call you up and say, "Help me"?
Yeah, they come by and express the fact that they want to become homeowners. And at that time, we take them out to the bank, let them put an application in out at First Federal. They'll pull their credit, and they'll find out what problems they have. First, they tell them what their score is. And once we can identify where the problem is, then we start working with that individual in that process. So if they have maybe a 580 credit score, it takes us about maybe 6 to 10 months to get those issues straightened out. That's a problem on their credit report.
Now, during that time period, they also can't be damaging their credit.
Exactly.
Because it's kind of a fine line. You want to put someone on the straight and narrow with their credit for 6 to 10 months, and then maybe they do rent furniture and don't make their payment, and so there could be a hiccup. So you counsel them during that time period as well?
Yes, we tell them certainly not to make any large purchases. Don't go out and buy a boat, buy a new car when you're trying to get yourself qualified for home ownership. So those things, and to make their payments on time. If you do have revolving debt out there, make sure that you make your payments on time. Don't be late on that, because that's an indication of your credit worthiness. And so these are some of the things that we work with them on and toward for them to get qualified for a mortgage.
Yeah, the bank wants to get their money back, and they want the only reason they're loaning you the money is they're making interest on that money.
Exactly.
And when they get paid, they want it paid when it's due. And
exactly.
You kind of get scared if a bank makes a loan. Maybe I don't know what type of money we're talking. We're talking $70,000, $80,000 for a home.
Well, it depends on the applicant's income to a large extent, to what they are able to borrow. Let's say we are building a house. For instance, we are building a house. It costs $90,000. If their income is adequate to support an $80,000 loan, we have a $10,000 gap, and we usually use a ship or somebody to subsidize that other revenue for them to be able to get the money to purchase that home.
So there's a formula that you follow. Can you talk a little bit more about that formula? Like, if my income is $45,000 a year or $35,000 a year, there's a formula that says this is how much the bank can loan you. This is the square footage. And Roger,
Yeah, pretty much. Well, you have, it's according to your income, how much money you can borrow. What's your debt limit or debt ratio that the bank will actually let you have the money that you can pay that loan back.
Talk about the square footage there. What typical size house are we talking about here?
It's typically in the 13 to maybe 1,500 square feet heated, and
that could be a 3-bedroom house,
oh,
right?
Yeah, and the house we're building currently is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. So it's going to be a nice little comfortable house to live in.
So, how many of these do you do a year, or is it depending on the qualifications of the individual that can get the loan?
Exactly. That depends on a great deal of what we can build. We have to have the money. If the applicant qualifies for a mortgage, then we can build probably one per quarter, maybe 3-4 houses a year that we can build if we get the applicant qualified for the mortgage itself. That determines what we can build is the money that we can get to do the construction with.
Now, Roger, you're a residential contractor. You've worked on long-term recovery efforts in the Swanee Valley with Tropical Storm Debbie that really devastated a lot of homes.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. But do you do a lot of these homes, or are you the main contractor for the homes for the CDC?
Yes, right now. Tropical Storm Debbie affected quite a few people in our area, and there was a lot of need, and we did a lot of remodeling, re-roofing, that kind of thing.
Now, I know most contractors build profit into a lot, and you wouldn't be in business if you just wanted to break even. Kind of hard to feed your family when you're just breaking even. But I'm assuming that you get the best price per square footage that's possible out there.
That's correct, and we try to watch our costs, and we try to we're not going to get rich, but we're helping. I feel a need to help the community, and that's what we're doing.
Now, talk about building products. When certain things happen in the economy, the price of certain things goes up and the price of certain things go down, and so it fluctuates all the time. So what may cost you a certain amount in January may be totally different in October because of market conditions.
That's correct.
How difficult is that to?
And it is. Most of the building materials are commodities, and the price goes up and down, and so it's very difficult sometimes, especially if we have a hurricane that comes through. The price of plywood, for instance, could go through the roof. It's supply and demand,
Right.
so we have to watch that very carefully.
Roger, are there floor plans that you like to do more than others, or is there a simple floor plan that's easy to build? I mean, my house, when I built my house, it had many angles in it, and I marveled at my contractor being able to get those angles, because I've helped build a house before, and I know how difficult sawing those angles to where they have to fit just right.
Well, I tell folks, every time you turn a corner, it costs more.
Right.
So obviously, keep it simple, and therefore you can build, efficiently. And
well, and you can have an apprentice out there and can help you nail that in. When I was helping, it was like, I don't trust you to do that, because you.
Right.
I mean, I wish everyone would follow a contractor one day
Right.
to see them build something and to see how much math goes into it, how much planning goes into it.
Right. Scheduling.
The fact that you want to have some plywood get to a job site.
Exactly.
And you want to put it up before it rains. I mean, the weather condition. There's all kinds of
timing, weather, you name it. Sickness. There's so many factors that can affect your schedule in getting a house done. So that's why I never give somebody, I'll be done with it exactly this time. It's usually, a window of time.
Do you do block, or is it mostly wood frame housing?
Mostly wood frame, because that's the pretty much tradition in this area. If you go to South Florida, it's all block.
Right.
So we do block if the customer requires it or wants it.
It costs more.
But it costs more.
Now, Lester, I wanted to ask you about, and Mary, I'm going to get to you. I know you're down there on the end of the couch, and she seems like she's content down there. But we're going to talk to you about the gala that's coming up at the end of this week for a major fundraiser for your organization. But Lester, I wanted to find out about equity from the individual.
Okay.
Is there a requirement for them to put some skin in the game?
Yes. Yes. Usually the bank requires about 1% skin in the game from the applicant themselves. Like I said, we was talking earlier about the ability of the applicant to repay the loan, or the amount of money that can be borrowed. once we determine that, then like I said, we have gap financing either from our SHIP program. I certainly do want to mention that the City of Lake City and the CRA have been instrumental as well in assisting us in the process of developing affordable housing. They do also provide some of the gap finances in terms of the waiving of fees for your permitting and the what was that,
The down payment sort
down payment assistance.
Yeah.
But we haven't got it, where it's a stable thing.
And I want people to understand this is not a freebie. This is not a handout program. This is people helping to do for themselves in this process. It's just a hand up to get qualified. And I mean, you folks know who the bankers are. I'm thinking of someone who may be out there thinking about building a house, not knowing what the process is. And would they even attempt to go see a banker?
Right.
And who would they go see?
Right.
And how would they get? I mean, there's so many questions that people don't even start the process.
Yeah, well, the impact fees is what I got stumped on there. The city also helped us with our impact fees on our current house that we're building. And the process is always a tedious one. It's long and it's complicated, and the applicant themselves have to be very involved, and they have to be dedicated to what they're doing in order for them to get through the process. And if they are, our organization can assist them, and certainly we can make that happen for them.
Yeah, I think the harder you make it, people just give up sometimes. They just, why bother killing myself to try to go through this process when I could just rent? Do you get that sometimes, that people just give up?
Yes, we get that quite frequently. We can start in the process with them. We can get them started in their basic training for the financial literacy training, and they will talk with somebody in the community, and somebody will tell them, listen, I can get you in a house. You don't have to go through all of that, and consequently they'll listen, and they'll get sidetracked and leave our program and go to something even much more complicated. So,
Lester, in your experience, this organization was first started in 1999, so you've been doing this for a long time.
Yes.
So you've seen a lot. Do you see that when people go through this process, take out the loan, have to make the payment, that there's a tendency to be more prideful of their home and take care of it and cut the grass and really proud of where they live?
Oh yes, certainly. Yes. It's after they complete the process and got into their new home, this is usually always the outcome. There's a great deal of pride in ownership of a home. You look forward to the future knowing that your net worth has just been increased. You have a way now to provide even education for one or more of your children into the future, So it's a great thing. It's home ownership is a great thing, and it leads to better communities.
Now, Roger, you talked about that investment of that home and making payments and having equity in a home and maybe taking out a loan on the equity you have in your home to do an addition to the home, should your family. So that's a process that can open up for people.
Of course, and also there's the tax advantage. The interest that you pay is tax deductible. We didn't talk about that, but that's an additional benefit of home ownership.
Yeah, and you look even at taking out a loan for college for a child. Do you have a lot of families that are very young that are in this program or wanting to get in this program that are just starting a family?
Most of our applicants are single parents. We've had, I think, out of the 35 applicants that we do have, only two of them consisted of a married couple.
And divorce can put you in a behind the eight ball as well with your credit score.
Exactly.
Especially if it was tenuous divorce and spouse did something to mess the credit up, then it may be of no fault of your own that you're having now to repair your credit.
Exactly right. That's right.
So how do I get a hold of you to start this process? Because I know we talked before we came on the air, a lot of people don't know about this program.
I know.
You guys are a secret, best kept secret in Columbia County.
We don't have the the outlet, I guess, that a lot of people do. Mostly word of mouth.
Well, and doing this program too.
Yeah, yes,
I don't know how
this-
many
this
people
is
you'll
gonna
get
help us as
from
well.
this program, but
Yeah, but if you want to get in contact with the CDC, you can call 752-9785 from about 8 in the morning till about 5:30 in the afternoon. And you can get in contact with us. If you want to become a homeowner, we can certainly help you in the process.
all right. Now, what we wanted to highlight in the program is now Mary's turn to talk about. You guys have done a masquerade ball. Has it always been a masquerade ball?
No, it's not. This is our first year. This is our 10th year. So we decided to do something a little bit different. It's always been a black tie event, formal. And this year we just kind of wanted to do something just a little bit different. So we just say, well, you know, this is something that we'll try and see if the community would accept it.
Now, this is the biggest fundraiser you do every year, correct?
Yes, this is our major fundraiser, and this is the time of year that we go out into the community and we ask for support from our community, the businesses, and most of our businesses have been very supportive in what we do, because with the computer classes and the financial literacy, the budgeting, everything we do in preparation for the home ownership, there is not a fee attached to it. So in order to keep the programs going, the banquet is what we use to help us to maintain what we do.
Well, and if you had somebody outside of the banquet that wanted to make you a contribution, that you'd take the check, right?
Oh yes, oh yes.
Okay.
And it's tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which means that if you invest in us, then you know you get it back through the government.
It is the end of this week. It's a Saturday. It's at the Columbia County Fairgrounds. It's at 6 o'clock.
It's February 28th. It's always the last Saturday in February at the Columbia County Fairground.
6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock in the evening. We have a comedian this year, as well as a live band. Food is catered by the Fenced In Barbecue, which is Mr. Lawrence Rents. Very tasty food. Our tickets are only $30. And we invite you to come out and just enjoy the evening with us and just have a good time.
If you'd like more information, you saw it on the screen. Terry T. Harris.
That's our
Now,
comedian.
you got a comedian,
Yes.
and so he's going to tell
He's going
tell jokes.
to tell.
Yeah.
That's
it.
different.
Yes, yes.
And he's been on BET, on Comic View. He's from Jacksonville.
Right.
And
yes.
you've got Cohesion, the band from the Gainesville area. This sounds like a lot of fun at the fairgrounds. I know they just had the Chamber Ball there in January, and so be decorating the place up. If you'd like tickets, you can call. Let's bring that number up one more time. If you'd like tickets, you can call the Greater Lake City CDC at 752-9785. Log on to, if you want to find more information about Greater Lake City CDC, you can log on to their website. They are on Bascom Norris Road.
363 Northwest Bascom Norris Drive. Bascom Norris Drive.
Right.
And if you can't reach us in the office, we're out in the field this time of year a lot. So you can call me on my cell, which is a 904-635-2021, or you can contact any of the board members. They will have tickets available as well.
Now, I wanted to, who's on your board?
We have Miss Betty Powell, which is our fundraiser coordinator. We have Kathy Perry, our secretary. We have Alonzo Galloway, which is our president. Charles Wilson is our vice president, and we have Chris Diamper as our treasurer. We've had, unfortunately, 2 of our board members to pass away within the last year, so we've missed, and we have also Mr. Jake Hills, a former city councilman, on our board. And we are also open for board members. If you would like to come work with us, we would be more than glad to have you to come out and just sit in on our meetings. Our meetings are held the last Tuesday of the 4th Tuesday of every month. So, you know, it's from 6 to 7, unless there's something really going on that we may last a little bit longer. One of our other board members is Ms. Wanda Austin. So we just ask you to just come out and see what we do, and if you'd like to be a part of it, we would like to have you.
And if you'd like to see the house, they can tell you where the house is being built right now. And I mean, it sounds like a great story that you have a lot of, the theme for the United Way this year is creating happy endings, and it seems like that's what you do at the Greater CDC, is creating a happy ending for families and those who can't afford housing,
Yes.
get them into affordable housing.
Yes, because we
Yes.
are building energy efficient and affordable housing does not mean the house is not a quality house. The house that we're building now is the first of its kind in Columbia County. It's an Energy Star certified home. The house itself will be Energy Star certified. So that means that he'll be able to assist the owner in making their payments on that house, because the utility bills will be much lower in this Energy Star certified home than they would be in a traditional home. And it's on the corner of Gurley and Denver Avenue. Anybody would like to come by and see? We're just getting ready to pour the foundation, I think, sometime this week. So it's going to be something really wonderful.
Terrific. I appreciate you all being on the program today.
Thank you.
And I wish you the best of luck with the Masquerade Ball, and,
thank
and
you,
hope
Mike.
you build 100 houses
All right.
for
all
folks.
right.
And thank
We'll
you
do
for
that.
watching Perspective here on Florida Gateway College Television. Until next time, I'm Mike McKee. We'll see you later.